So I ended up getting kicked out of my apartment, maxed out credit cards, negative bank accounts. Nobody tells you that when you run a business, you don't make money every 2 weeks. But my stocks were the reason I could start my company. But I got into a space where I needed money. And so I had to sell the investments that I had, the stocks that I had, the mutual funds, the ETFs, to be able to fund my company.
How did stocks save your business?
So I used to work on Wall Street, and it was my job to work with millionaires and billionaires. And when I was there, I saw everything from where they lived to where they shopped, where they traveled, how they avoided taxes, what they invested in, everything. And I got to a point where I realized that for something we use every single day of our life, why isn't it taught in the school system? You shouldn't have to major in finance like I did, work on Wall Street like I did, or even come from money. And I got to a place where I felt like I deserved to be on the other end of the table. But I started investing in the stock market because I saw our billionaire clients investing. So while they might have been starting with 100 million, I was starting with $100. So during my time on Wall Street, I was watching what the millionaires and billionaires were doing, and I was just mimicking that. So that's really how I started investing. I got to a space where I felt like I wanted to be the woman to financially empower the world, the 99% that Wall Street overlooked. So I left my Wall Street job to financially educate the world. I created my company called Amplify, and we're a fintech startup that's revolutionizing how adults and children are learning how to build wealth. Now, nobody tells you that when you run a business, you don't make money every 2 weeks. I thought I did. So I was shopping, living, traveling as if I was still on Wall Street thinking, I didn't have a job anymore. Not realizing money's not coming all the time. So I ended up getting kicked out of my apartment, maxed out credit cards, negative bank accounts. And I had to move back to Philly, sleep on my parents' couch where I'm originally from. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when I was on Wall Street, our clients weren't saving money, they were investing it. Because of inflation, if you're not making money, if you're not making 3, 4, 5, 6% of your money, you're losing it. So we were training our clients to always put their money to work. And I think we're taught the opposite. We're taught to go to school, get a job to pay for school and buy a house, right? And I know a lot of people that work really hard and make good money, but they aren't wealthy. And so because I saw our clients investing, I had to invest. So when I left Wall Street, I had $30,000. But my $30,000, it wasn't saved in a savings account. It was amongst all the investments that I had. So when I got to a space where I got kicked out my apartment, had no money, overdrawn bank accounts, negative credit, it was just horrible. Like I learned a lot, but my stocks were the reason I could start my company, Amplify, because I was building wealth and investing consistently. Every time I got paid, I was making money, and I had to sell out my investments, which was one of the hardest things I ever had to do to fund my company. And so I always tell people, one, I don't save for emergencies because nobody wants to save, first of all, let alone for something they don't want to come. I was setting money aside in my investments, not knowing that I was going to have to use it, but that was my emergency fund. My money was making money for me, making a lot more than an average savings account. And when I needed it, I sold my investments to start my business. And I think a lot of people believe like you got to invest your money, touch it for retirement. I challenge people to figure out what you're going to invest in, whether it's $5 a month, be continuous with it, but get yourself into a space where you're using your investments to fund your vacations, to make that down payment on your home, to pay down your debt, to start your business. And you have those long-term investments. But I got into a space where I needed money. And so I had to sell the investments that I had, the stocks that I had, the mutual funds, the ETFs, to be able to fund my company, Amplify.
Wow. So, okay, hold up. Ashley, you just, because listen, there are people right now literally going through a similar situation, and they're probably thinking that there is no way out. But listen, let's take a step back. Okay. So now when you said that you essentially was kind of starting with like $100 or so, and of course, I know the investments today are a little bit different than the investments when you first started. So can you walk us through a little bit of that story when you were like just getting started in like the investment? Because some people like they have a basic idea of what like, stocks are and things of that sort. But what would you say like would be like a basic beginner strategy if they wanted to kind of do the same thing?
So first thing you have to do is open a brokerage account. So the brokerage account is the account you need that connects the buyer of an investment to the seller of an investment. That's it. Now, back when I was on Wall Street, this is like 10 years ago, you had to pay every time you process a transaction. So every time I bought stock in a certain company, I had to pay a fee, and it's usually between $7 to $10. Nowadays, you don't have to pay. So the first thing you have to do is get a brokerage account. Now, I wouldn't tell you to do what I did because I was watching what rich people were doing, which is not the ideal way to do it. People like buy things that I say on it. You can listen and learn from me, but you invest for you. So the first thing you need to do once the account is open, You want to connect it to your basic checking or savings account, because you have to transfer the money into the brokerage account for you to go shopping in the stock market. Now, the next thing you do is to walk around your house and kind of take an inventory of where you spend your money and your time. From the moment you get up to when you brush your teeth, what kind of toothpaste do you use? The soap that you use, the car that you drive, the food that you eat, the clothes that you wear, the apps that you're using, the phone that you're using. Think of where all your money is going, because when you buy stock in a company, you are owning a piece of a business.
Right.
So if you take out the stock market, take out the stock charts and all the big words and big numbers, if you were to own a piece of a business, what do you want to know about that business? You want to know what they do, how they do it, who their competitors are, how much money they're making, what their vision is. There's so many things you want to know, but the easiest way to start is to invest in a company you actually know. And if you are a loyal customer of that company, that means they're making money off of you. And a lot of the biggest and best companies are household names that companies use and believe in. So I would not say do what I do, because I was buying what I saw the rich people do. Now that I've learned, now that I've made money, I've lost money, I've been doing this for over 15 years.
Yeah.
I invest in companies I believe in. I invest in companies that America cannot live without. I invest in companies that get my money every single day. It's like, they're going to get my money. Why else? Why not make the money with that company and build wealth with that company as well?
Wow. And see, you touched on something big, is that you invest in companies that America cannot live without. And I think so many times, Ashley, people start going with the hot trend, or they go with the wave. And I've watched a lot of your content, on Instagram, and I've noticed that that's not your thing. Like you just mentioned, you go honestly with what works, like with something that is obviously going to be that's needed, for the American economy. So that's huge. That's huge. Now, let's say, for example, Ashley, now, of course, I know that this is a video. It's only so much information that people can get in a very short period of time. Do you have anything like, coming up, or anything that you have where if a person wants to take a deeper dive, if they would like just starting from scratch, like from fresh, and they wanted to, get more information or gain more knowledge?
So I would say we have a ton of resources, right? Like, I run an entire membership-based app where it's like the Netflix of finance. But I would say right now, if the goal was to effectively build wealth and dominate the rest of this year, I am launching my first ever 5-day virtual summit focused strictly on cash flow creation. So it's 5 days, literally, where I'm working with individuals step by step on how can we effectively create cash flow utilizing investments. So the first day we're talking about shifting. Literally, the first day is the millionaire mindset matrix, right? Because I'm going to talk about what I saw working with the 1% on Wall Street. What were they doing? How were they living? What were they reading? What were their thoughts like? Their mindset, and give you the tools and resources to help you build out a game plan so you know how you need to prepare and what you need to do and how you need to think. Second day, we're going to talk about making money and taking care of debt, because so many people feel like, I don't have enough money, or I got to pay down my debt. You can pay down debt and invest. You can save money and invest. I think we always say we got to do this or that. When it comes to building wealth, it's not something you do one time. It becomes a part of who you are as a person. Third day, we're talking about REIT'S, real estate investment trust, where you can invest in real estate with a less than $200 and collect passive income on a consistent basis. So learning how to invest in shopping malls, hotels, apartment buildings, office buildings, billboards. And then day 4, we're talking about dividend stocks. And so those are those companies that America can't live without, that are consistently paying out cash flow to their investors. And again, my focus is not to tell you what to buy, but to put you in a position so you say, Ashley, I want this, I want to do that, and get you in a position where no matter how much you start with, I'm just here to tell you, you got to get started, because you cannot save or work your way to wealth. And then the last day, we're focused on summing all of that up. We're going to build this wealth, but how are we passing it down? Because we have a habit of passing down generational debt, generational trauma. But what if we're passing down generational habits that are changing our lives, generational wealth that can change our families and legacy forever? And so really getting you down into a space where you don't have to go through 15 years of working in finance like I did, but give you the steps and tools you need as a beginner to effectively learn how to build cash flow, allow these $1 million, $1 billion businesses to pay you, because you now know how to invest in them, and then building your wealth over time. I always tell people, I'm not here to get you rich quick. My job is to effectively turn you into a wealth builder. And that is somebody who has money, who has wealth generation after generation. And so the goal is to get you into a mindset where building wealth is not something you run away from, but something you run towards. And you know that, hey, I can start with who I am, what I have, and put you in a position to effectively build wealth.
Wow. Listen, you came ready to give this information to the audience today. I mean, first off, that summit in general is going to be so helpful for a lot of people, especially as they are looking to not only just prepare for retirement, but just to kind of to start building that portfolio. Okay, so now let's go back into that. So now, of course, you started with the $100. You started making some investments. You got your brokerage account. Things are kind of moving. You're looking at things and investing in businesses that America needs. That's crucial. But you just touched on something that I think I don't want people to miss. I don't want people to miss this. Is that you talked about having some cash flow coming in on a monthly basis through dividends. Now, real quick, how exactly do dividends work?
So dividends are essentially a portion of a company's profit that they give you, the shareholder. So just because you chose to invest in this company, they say every month or every 90 days, I'm going to give you cash flow. Now, let's take a dividend stock, right? Dividend stocks are some of your biggest and best companies. They're not the company you're going to see on the internet. They're not going up and down, up and down. People are flipping their money. They're like the Jay-Z's of the world. They've been around for a while. They're seasoned, but reliable. Jay-Z's not going to flip your money tomorrow like a new rapper would. But he's consistent. He's proven to you that he can do this, and he's effectively growing over time. Companies like that, they know my stock price isn't going to really double or triple your money, but instead, I'm going to give you cash flow. So companies like that give you a portion of their profits for every share you own. So just look at it like buying a property. Once you buy one property, you got a tenant, you're getting income. The more properties you buy, the more income you get. It works the same way when you buy a dividend stock. The only thing is you don't have to do anything. I'm owning a piece of $1 billion business, and every share I own, they're giving me cash flow. And so again, it gives people the ability to have consistency, reliability around companies they actually know. Like these are not companies that just started yesterday. They're not like penny stocks. These are companies you probably use their products and services. And they're typically the number one in their industry, but it puts you in a position where you say, hey, I'm it's a little risky for me. Like I don't like my money going up and down and, losing 50%. Some people can stomach that. Yeah. But also some people may say, look, I want to make more cash flow than what my savings account is paying me. So what companies can I invest in where I can have my money sit there, hold it over time, and let that company give me cash flow? And there are some companies that have been paying out dividends for over 50 years. Companies like Target. Target's been paying out dividends for 20, 30, 40 years. And here's the thing. When you get a good dividend stock, they're increasing your cash flow over time. So every year, if it's a good company, they're giving you cash flow. It's like you're getting a raise for doing nothing. You open your brokerage account, you invest in a stock, but the goal is to buy more shares, because the more shares you buy, the higher your cash flow. And I always look at it like putting my money in a savings account is not doing anything for me. And we also think now savings accounts are a little bit higher than what they used to be. I promise people in the next 1, 2, 3 years, your savings account interest rates are going to go down, because when the economy is doing well, interest rates drop. When the economy is doing bad, interest rates in your savings accounts rise. Right. Dividends don't play that game. If you have a good company, bad economy, good economy, they care about their reputation, and they're going to provide you with that consistent cash flow. So there's companies all over that like literally from toothpaste you use to the clothes you wear to where you buy your groceries to the cell phone you use to the cell phone provider that you use. Some of these companies that you just don't pay attention to pay out cash flow to shareholders. Wow, man. Listen, Ashley, we need you to bring this. Is this same energy going to be during the summit? That's what I want. Yes. I can't turn it off. I can't turn I don't. When I turn on, I turn on. But yes, no, I literally tell people like 5 days during a virtual summit. Yeah. I've never done that before, but it's all new content. Yeah. All new resources. And I'm doing for all the people that got platinum tickets. We're doing live Q&As every day. So we're learning, but you come back and say, all right, actually, I got some questions. So we're going to be face-to-face, live on Zoom together, and you can get your questions answered. So I blocked off my whole calendar. Wow. Strictly focus on this, because you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait a month. I have tons of programs. I run a whole app. We created programs that are 6 weeks. Let's do it in 5 days, because we got to dominate this fourth quarter. Just because the year is coming to an end, the fourth quarter is the best part of the game to watch. And we cannot go into the new year still not having our money make money for us. And while we're in this recession or whatever they want to call it, Some of these company prices are down, but they're still paying out cash flow. So you want to be in a position to buy things when they're cheaper. So when everything is all back to normal, you're still collecting your income, but some of these company stock prices are going to start to rise, and you're in a position to monetize and make money with that company.
Wow. Listen, you said the fourth quarter is the best part of the game to watch.
It is. It's when you know who wins or loses the game. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know what? That's key, because I think that honestly, Ashley, is that you're opening up the dialogue. You're opening up the conversation that a lot of people need to start having, especially, no matter what age they are, to start, putting their money where it's going to grow. And like you said, and companies don't know, the stock market doesn't play that game. Things stay fairly consistent, especially with dividends and things of that sort. So listen, guys, first off, if you don't do anything, you need to make sure that you go ahead and get registered for that summit. The link is in the description down below. Okay, guys. But listen, if you guys have gotten value out of this video, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, so you guys can get more information. Because listen, with the energy that Ashley just brought, we most definitely got to bring her back, very soon, so you guys can go ahead and start preparing for your stock investment retirement portfolios and such. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for your time. We greatly appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much.